It's recording. Alright, so I'm on camera.
YouTube, a website where creator and community can interact with each other like no other place on the internet. When I started posting videos on YouTube, there was this one community that I gravitated towards, and that is Colin Ross. I saw Colin's content, and it has this grit and uniqueness about it. The biggest aspect about his videos is the amount of heart you see him pour into every project. It's this work ethic that attracts a lot of creators. In particular, I noticed one person that would post on each video that Colin was putting out. That person was Will Stinton, and I decided to check him out. A high school teacher that also vlogged. The concept intrigued me. Not only that, but his footage was silky smooth cinematic as well. Ironically enough, after a while, I ended up posting on every video that Will was putting out. So eventually, I thought to myself, hey, I have a show every Wednesday where I interview people passionate about their craft. Why not invite Will for the next one? So here we are. The following intervwednesday covers topics about being a YouTuber, the community, being a teacher and a YouTuber, as well as camera gear and the like. So stay tuned if you're interested in that kind of stuff. What's up, YouTube fam? Javier Mercedes here for intervwednesday. What is intervwednesday? Well, it is an interview that I do on a Wednesday with somebody passionate about their craft. So if you're into that kind of thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And you can join me on this journey learning about people and what they're passionate about. Today on this episode, we have one of my favorite YouTubers and just all-around good guy, a world history teacher from Los Angeles, California, Mr. Will Stinton. How's it going?
Dude, it's going real well, man. How are you?
I am doing great. So just to get into things, how did you get into YouTube?
I started watching YouTube right when I think YouTube was getting really popular around, like, at least for me, I thought YouTube was getting popular around 2012. I think I started my channel in 2016, and so I think for a solid 4 years, I was just watching YouTubers, and then I was just like, you know, I could do this. Like, I could start my own channel.
After getting into YouTube, what do you enjoy about being a creator on YouTube now?
What I actually, like, really enjoy is, it sounds kind of cheesy, but, like, I just like making stuff. Another, like, underrated part that I've only really, like, gotten to do is, like, just meet other cool people, like, you know, like meeting you, you know, meeting people like Colin Ross. You didn't even know they existed, and then you meet them, and then you can meet them in real life and talk to them. And
when I started out, I was just like you. I just wanted to start creating videos, and I was like, whoa, there's a community here, and it's not just like, say you're on Facebook or something like that. It's very much like the people you went to high school with and things like that. But once you get on YouTube, it's like, it's very global. Like, some of the people that post it on comments are like Nimrod Sarid is from Israel.
I'm Nimrod, also. Welcome to my channel.
I'm like, oh cool, I'm into your content too. I have no idea what it's like over there, but that's cool.
I like to flip and chill.
Speaking of people getting in the comments and everything, there's one that I wanted to bring up from, I think he's subscribed to both of us, really awesome vlogger, Gunnar Michaels.
Yeah.
On one of your vlogs, he asked, do you talk to your students about YouTube?
I do. Like, I went to a volleyball game for these girls in my classes, and then I went to a football game. Like, you know, students in general, like, I perceive that they, you know, they like it when their teachers come to their athletic events or their, like, theater performances. But sometimes I also think, like, it means a lot to just comment on their post on Instagram or...
Wow, I didn't even think about that, yeah.
So it's kind of the world we're living in too, where I think, like, if you comment on Instagram and you, like, you're involved, or like, hey, they're doing some cool thing, and you, like, shoot them a DM, like, responding to their Instagram story, I feel like that's almost the same thing as going to their football game and going to their volleyball game or going to their events, going to their theater performances, because you're interacting with them outside of school.
Yeah, showing support through social media. That's crazy. Also, speaking of school, the other thing that at the end of one of your episodes, I wanted to bring up, you said school is a serious endeavor, but it should be fun, and it sets up the students for success. Can you explain how you bring fun into the classroom?
There's a lot of stuff I do in class where, whether it's if we're doing lectures on totalitarian dictators, I make, you know, the presentations look like Grand Theft Auto. School has to be fun. Like, it is a serious thing because you're learning, and I believe that, like, if teachers have fun teaching and students have fun learning, if you're having fun and you're learning, it just creates an environment where you work hard and you want to, like, succeed and you want to do all those things, because it's like, it can't just be boring and terrible. Like, so many people talk about, like, oh, I went to college and I hated it, so I dropped out, or like, I hated high school, and they have such negative experiences at school. Like, And I hate that because it's like, as a teacher, you're like, I don't want people to like look back on their own lives and talk about how some of the most terrible times of their life were when they were in school. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I don't want that.
That's one of the interesting things too. There's a parallel there between when I first started YouTube, I was talking to my teacher friends about, I never realized how much work goes into lesson plans and things of that nature, and how that correlates to making a YouTube video. So like, say you're making a tutorial about Keynote, you have to plan out, all right, these are the key notes that I want to talk about Keynote, and then you have to film it and then deliver that package in video format. Whereas when you're in school, it's a different ballgame. So if you're on YouTube, you're talking about your subject, and if somebody wants to find something better, or like, all right, this person isn't getting to the point, or what have you, they can just click on that what's next video over at the sidebar, and then you're just forgotten about. But in school, it's different. You're in class for like an hour with that teacher that has to give you that information, and it's just like a different setup.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and that's there's a lot there that you just said.
But I that's like one of those philosophical things that I think about in my brain. But I'm assuming that you can make some of those parallels with teaching.
Yeah, you absolutely can. You know what's funny is there's a movement in schools now called flipped classroom, and I went to this training where they talked about reversing your lecture and having students click through it themselves. And it was,
wow.
And so like I naturally, because like, you know, what you just talked about, where it's like, hey, this YouTube video sucks. You click on a related video, or you hit next or something. I will tell you right now, most 15, 16-year-olds, that's what they would do if they're like, boring lecture anyway, click, and they would just like click right through it and not learn all of it. They click off if they get bored, and what you're saying is exactly true. It's like, when it's presented to you in real life in a classroom for 60 minutes in a row, you can't just click off because you're there and you're physically there.
Yeah. The teacher is viewing you. If a student was to pull out their phone, you would see it. Let's talk about your vlog content. To the viewers out there, Will's got some smooth B-roll. He's got the slow-mo. He's got the blurry time lapses and such. But I think the thing I love the most about your vlog content is there's no BS factor there. For example, if your Let's Talk About Marriage episode, where I can relate, and especially being a YouTuber, where you have to take the time to spend time with your partner, and then even if you don't want to go do that thing with them, hence tea time, you still end up enjoying your time with your partner because you're spending your time with them.
Yep.
Can you tell me about the work life? How is that ratio?
I'm still figuring out, to be perfectly honest. I don't have an answer, a perfect answer to like, this is exactly how you balance everything out. And I don't think anybody has an answer to this, you know? Like my wife, she lately she's been like, you're working a lot, and I'm like, I know, and it's you know, it's good and it's bad because I'm pursuing video, which is what I wanted to do, and I feel like I'm being successful at it. It's very time consuming, and you know, Casey Neistat, right? Tons of people watch him. If you can still see it in some of his videos today, but I remember like when he was daily vlogging, he would full on talk about how Candace, his wife, didn't like it, or, you know, was like, you're always doing this. And it's like something he's sometimes addressed, but I think also completely downplays, that it's so time consuming between what you're doing in your own life, filming it, editing it. There's not enough hours in a day necessarily that I feel like, and you have to manage it. You have to set time aside. And then sometimes I found that you just got to set a time and say, I'm going to work on this until this time. And if it's not done, I'll finish it later. But I'm like, you know, I think like the other night, my wife wanted to watch a movie, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna edit until like 7 p.m. And I was like, at 7 p.m, if it's done, it's done. But if it's not done, I'm just still gonna stop and we'll watch a movie together. And I think the little things like that go a long ways.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Speaking from personal experience, when I was doing the daily vlogging for a month, I ran into the same thing where it's like, my wife was like, all right, what are you doing? I'm like, chasing this YouTube game, all right?
Yeah.
The thing is, my son's about to be 19 months, and I don't want to miss out on spending time with him. So I found that after doing the whole month of daily vlogging, taking a step back, and then also having my own job at the Chive doing editing all day, it definitely does take a toll, like relationship-wise, if you don't make that time. But it's gratifying when you post it and you're like, I did something. It's out there to the world.
It is, and what I also think is really interesting too is just how old we are. Not to like say that we're so old, but I didn't really realize this until I went to the first Film Friday and I met up with Colin, and they're all like early 20s, and I was like, dude, like, and then on the one hand, I was kind of embarrassed. I was like, I'm like 10 years older than pretty much everybody here, and I had like a little bit of a moment there. But then I realized I was like, these young people who are like younger than me, they know so much more stuff than I do, and it's like I look up to them because like they're way more creative than I feel like they're way more creative than me, and they're like, you know, you look across YouTube and it's like most of these YouTubers are like early 20s, they're like 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, and they're doing these really cool things, and it's like, man, like I'm learning from them way more than they will probably ever learn from me. Exactly.
What about, do you have any thoughts on the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours watch time?
I totally support it. I listened to a podcast the other day, and it was a YouTuber interviewing another YouTuber. But I think he said something along the lines of like, just do what you like doing and the money will come later. And he even said, and he's like, a lot of people might not believe that, but he said, if you put your heart into it and you work really hard at it, it'll find a way to monetize itself. Like because people, eventually when people watch it, if it's good and people watch it, how it gets monetized, whether it's like, you know, if you're gonna sell merch, if you're gonna like make, I don't know, Lightroom presets or like whatever your thing is, it'll monetize itself at some point if people are watching it. And he said that, and I was like, I think he's kind of right. Like, don't worry about like, do I have 1,000 subscribers or do I have, you know, Google AdSense going and like trying to make money. Like, you gotta make cool stuff, and then if you make cool stuff, you'll eventually make money from it in one way or another.
Last question I want to ask is, anybody looking to get into YouTube as a creator, what would you tell them?
What I would tell them is, and it's funny because I tell students this when we talked earlier, you know, my students ask me like, you know, I want to get on YouTube, and then, you know, I tell them like, just film it on your phone. Like, you don't need a camera, just go for it. Just generally just start making films, just start filming stuff. And that's what I did. And, you know, if you look back at my earliest videos, they're drone videos. And then like, I was like, man, these are cool. And then I was like, maybe I should start making like more vlog style videos. And I made a video of us going camping, like me and my wife, and you know, it started kind of like that. And it's just, then you can find your groove and say, these are the videos I like making. I'm gonna make these kind of videos.
Awesome. It has been a pleasure in getting to talk to you in real life, in real YouTube life.
Yeah.
What's your IG?
My Instagram is just my name all in a row, William Stinton, all one word.
To all the visitors out there, Will Stinton's page is right here. Go check out his channel. If you guys like that content, go ahead and give me a like, give me a dislike, and tell me, well, just don't give me the dislike, just comment down below, and probably Will and I will both reply to you and be like, hey man, what's up? Or hey, Will man, what's up? Cool seeing you here. All right, Will, thank you so much for being here. I will catch you on the next video.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for having me.